The American Civil War is often taught as a simple conflict, North versus South, but the real story is darker, more complex, and far more human than most people ever hear. This wasn't just a battle over land or politics. It was a struggle over identity, power, and the future soul of the United States. This is the dark truth behind the American Civil War. By the mid-1800s, America looked united on a map, but in reality, it was two completely different worlds. The North was industrial, fast-growing, and filled with immigrants searching for opportunity. The South was agricultural, wealthy for a few, but built on the labor of millions of enslaved people. Fear on both sides turned into anger, and that anger paved the road to war. Many believe the war began purely to end slavery, but the truth is more complicated. The South wanted to expand slavery into the new Western territories. The North wanted to stop that expansion, not only for moral reasons, but also to protect its own political power. Every new state meant new votes in Congress, and both sides wanted America's future to match their vision. Slavery was not the only issue, but it was the center of a massive power struggle. In 1860, Lincoln won the presidency without winning a single Southern state. To Southern leaders, this was proof that they had lost control of the nation. Fear turned into action. South Carolina seceded first, followed by 7 more states. By the time Lincoln took office, the United States had already broken apart. In April 1861, Confederate forces fired on Fort Sumter in Charleston Harbor. These were the first official shots of the Civil War. People believed the conflict would last only a few months. Instead, the nation bled for 4 devastating years. Most Civil War soldiers were young, many just 16 to 21 years old. They marched proudly into war and died in fields far from home. The battles were horrifying. Clouds of musket smoke, cannon fire ripping through lines, charges with bayonets, desperate surgeries without anesthesia, thousands falling in a single day. At Antietam, more than 22,000 men fell in one day. At Gettysburg, 50,000 casualties in 3 days. The scale of death was beyond imagination. In 1863, Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation. It didn't free every enslaved person immediately, but it changed everything. The war was no longer only about preserving the Union. It became a fight to destroy slavery. African American soldiers joined the Union Army, and their bravery helped turn the tide of the war. By 1865, the Confederacy was collapsing. The South was starving. Railroads destroyed, crops burned, cities shattered. General Sherman's march to the sea left devastation across the region. On April 9, 1865, General Robert E. Lee surrendered, and the Civil War officially ended. But the peace was far from simple. Slavery ended, but equality did not begin. The South created new oppressive laws. Violent groups rose. Millions of newly freed people had no land, no money, and almost no protection. The war ended one form of injustice, but the struggle for real freedom was just beginning. The Civil War was not just a battle between 2 armies. It was a battle between 2 visions of America, one rooted in freedom and one rooted in oppression. Its dark truth is this: the United States was reborn through suffering, sacrifice, courage, and unimaginable pain. Understanding the Civil War is not just learning history. It is understanding how America became what it is today. This is the real story of the American Civil War.